Hello everyone, it is Jazz here. Today I'm doing a discussion slash list-ish type video because I wanted to talk about the fact that I seem to be addicted to reading really super long books this year. So books really not under 450 pages and usually well over 500 pages. Not really sure where this addiction is coming from, but after a while I decided just to give in to the attraction because when else are you gonna read really long books except when you're in the mood for them? So I just accepted that that was my mood and just kept picking them up. And I have noticed some really interesting benefits from picking up one long book after another. So I wanted to discuss those benefits and the things that I really like about reading a whole bunch of long books in a row. So let's go on to my thoughts on that. One thing that I really started to enjoy about reading several really long books in a row is that after a while, the intimidation factor of reading long books started to go away for me. So I no longer looked at, the 700, 800 pages books and kind of had that freak out, like, oh my gosh, it's a commitment, what can I do, oh no. I just realized that I could approach a 700, 800 page book the same way that I would approach maybe a 200 or 300 page book. It's, you like it or you don't like it. And if you don't like it, you don't necessarily have to finish it if you're not in the mood for reading it, right? And that can apply to any length of book. Most of the time, the long books that I have read this year have been totally worth the commitment. So I think because I saw that the commitment was worth it with all the books that I read in a row, that I was more open to reading longer books. And also I came up with a brain tip for myself that really helped me find longer books not so intimidating as well, and that is that I started kind of viewing long books as like a television series or like a mini series as opposed to reading a book. And when you go watch a television series and it's got like a bunch of seasons, you're actually really excited as long as you really like the characters and you want a lot more. And I think long books actually become more fun if you can view them as like a television series or a mini series and think of like the chapters as episodes of that series. For some reason that kind of like breaks it down into like manageable chunks and makes them a lot less intimidating. The second benefit of really long books is that I've discovered that I really enjoy the benefits in terms of character and structure. You do get a lot more time to get to know the characters and get invested in them. And also with longer books, there is definitely more time to incorporate a lot more world building if the book is science fiction or fantasy. And also there is a lot more time to implement things like action, or if the book is a historical fiction, you really get to invest in more of the history. And so it's just a lot of time to focus on good things if the writer knows how to apply all those things, such as character and world building and all those things. And then you get to spend more time with that and really get immersed in the whole experience of the book. To follow up my second point about characters, I'm going to give you my third point, which is when a book is long, I'm more likely to really enjoy the fact that there are a lot of characters. If a book is really short and it has a ton of characters in it, I tend to get a little bit annoyed. I feel like I can't get to know all the characters and thus I can't invest in any of them, and some of the characters end up being really one-dimensional, and that is no fun. But if you have a lot of characters and the book is quite a bit longer, there is definitely time to get to all the characters, actually introduce new characters if it's a series, and really invest in the thoughts and the things that are going on behind those characters. So I'm definitely more open to books with a ton of different people and different things going on with those people if the book is longer. Fourth benefit, I think, to big books is that if the books are in a series, you can actually have less books. I can't tell you how many series that I have just not picked up because they are like 14 million little tiny books. and I'm like, I just can't get behind that. But if it's like, 3 to 5, maybe 6 longer books, I'm definitely more interested in picking up that. Mentally, I think that I'm just more likely to invest in a series that is less books, no matter how long they are, as opposed to a series that is like a ton of books and they're really small. Really, when you think about it, in a really huge book, there's probably like at least 4 books inside that book, but I'm fine with that. And a final benefit that I've found that is really cool is that through reading a whole bunch of really long books in a row, I have discovered that I do sort of read faster. I guess it's like anything, if you practice something enough, you do get really good at that particular skill, and I guess longer books do require that you practice reading. So it is really fun just because if you can read a little bit faster, that means that you can get to more books in your collection, and what reader doesn't want to do that? I don't know if this would work for everybody, but it does seem to work for me, and also it kind of allows me to read more really long books. So those were my thoughts on my journey reading a bunch of really long books in a row, aka my accidental addiction to long books. It's actually gotten to the point where reading shorter books feels weird, which I kind of need to work on that as well, because I think it's important to vary your book length for the sake of your sanity. The only downside I could say to reading really super long books is that they are kind of heavy when you read them in physical copies. So sometimes in wrap-ups, or even when I'm just reading them, I go, my arm is getting a little tired, but I'm building muscle, I figure. So I think that's still a benefit. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and I will see you all on Sunday. So thank you for watching, fabulous peeps. Bye!